It is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew. Go grab yourself a refreshing, citrusy kick this summer. Get yourself a Mountain Dew. That is not my man, Trevor Plouffe. That is my dude, Jimmy Norp. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer, along for the ride as well. I know that you filled in for me several times when I was gone shooting American Gladiators. Thank you very much again. But I am excited that we finally get to work together.
Yeah, Rosie, that makes two of us. I'm definitely excited. I had a great time filling in with Plouffe, but now I'm on with the better half, Chris Rose.
So can a Cleveland guy and a Detroit guy get along for like a half hour?
There's only one way to find out.
We're kind of in the same boat when it comes to the football. Like, we're two of four franchises that have never made the big game, the Super Bowl. Here in baseball, we fight for the same title. And by the way, my team's coming. I just want to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to let you know.
They're on my tail. I see them.
We got a lot of stuff to get to over the next 30 minutes or so, but we're going to start with a cool tip of the cap. And I know that we got Players Weekend coming up, so you're going to see some cool cleats, cool sneakers. Last night, we kind of got a sneak peek with Mickey Gasper of the Twins. He grew up a Yankee fan, and on the bottom of the knob is a picture of he and his pops in Yankee gear at Yankee Stadium. Great job by Yes to show us this. I thought, what a touching moment this is.
Yeah, just one of those cool little things in baseball. Great job by the Yankees broadcast, as you noted, to touch on that, but it's kind of cool. I feel like baseball a lot is father-son type stuff. I know for me growing up, it was father-son getting into the Detroit Tigers. So cool thing for Mickey Gasper, and something he probably will never forget.
Why don't you take note, and maybe you could put a picture of you and your old man on your Blitzball Battle 7 knob of your bat.
He would love that. So we might have to make it happen.
The only thing I would worry about is that Rourke would accidentally use it and then fire it against the wall when he inevitably strikes out.
Yeah, producer Dan Rourke would chuck my bat with me and my dad on it into the stratosphere, and that could be.
He's telling us he breaks his own equipment, that he would never do that to somebody else's property, particularly if it had such a memorable photo on it. Are you buying it?
Definitely not buying, completely selling, but that's fine. Dan Allen Rourke knows I love him.
That's nice. Cool touch, Mickey Gasper. Well done. All right, we're going to start out in Queens. It's the reason that I am wearing this Mets cap today. Pete, he stands alone as the king of Queens when it comes to being a power source.
And Pete drives one to deep right center field, headed back toward the wall. It's out of here! Pete Alonso stands alone! The polar bear on his own private iceberg. Pete Alonso, the most prolific home run hitter in New York Mets history.
Growing up as a kid, you never really put yourself in the mind where you could potentially be a franchise leader one day in home runs. That just doesn't really cross your mind, and it's just really special. What a blessing, what a gift it is to play this game at this level. What a gift it is to hit it at home in front of you guys. So thank you guys.
He's such a simple dude. He's so simple, it sounds like, and remarkably consistent. I thought it was great that he did this at home.
Yeah, definitely agree, Rose. I like the word you used there, consistent. That's definitely what I think with Pete Alonso. He's a guy who's going to put up 30 homers, 100 RBIs every year, and he plays every day. So good on Pete. Good to do it at home, passing Darryl Strawberry. A moment him and Mets fans will probably never forget.
Yeah, I am curious what you think. Does he, in order to be considered one of the great Mets of all time, does he have to get his team at least to a World Series, win a World Series, or is it good enough to kind of put the resume out there? Because we don't know what the future holds. He can opt out of his deal. He could leave after this year.
Yeah, I think adding a World Series definitely helps. It helps his legacy as an all-time Met great, but I think his resume without it is even good enough. You're the all-time home run leader. You think of a guy like David Wright. That's a Met great, right? He never won a World Series with the Mets, so Pete Alonso, I think, has done enough. And I feel like baseball is not like other sports like the NBA, maybe where one superstar can bring you a ring. You need multiple guys to do it. And not that the Mets don't have that, but it's not something that Pete can do all by himself.
Yeah, I've wrestled back and forth, and I talked to some Mets people. Jerry Blevins, our old buddy who works for SNY, he said it's no question. He is already a Mets legend. It's pretty simple. And then I've talked to kind of some crusty-ish New York Mets fans who are, they're always sour. They're looking at the glasses half empty, the whole bit. And I got some interesting thoughts. One of the people who's right around my age said, no, he definitely has to get the team to the World Series. I mean, part of the reason that Doc and Darryl Strawberry are so beloved because of the 86 Mets, right? They've gotten there since then. They got there in 2000. They got there in 2015. A team, by the way, David Wright was on. But they haven't done it all in almost 40 years. So I sit here, and as an outsider, I would say yes. But I'm curious what Mets fans think.
Yeah, we'll have to ask our guy Jolly Olive on that, how he feels. I know he loves Pete Alonso, but I just feel like the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, they really do, because Ralph Kiner and Albert Pujols, the only players in baseball history with more homers than Pete Alonso in his first 7 seasons. That was a stunning stat. I could not believe that that's what it was. The thing about Alonso, I think, we talked a little bit about his consistency. The dude posts every day. And when Trevor and I do this show together, that is something that we always talk about with great, great players. This is his 7th season. He has missed 24 games total. That is it. 24. I mean, Anthony Rendon's sitting here going, geez, Pete, how do you do that? I mean, are you kidding me? We're talking about 3.5 a season.
No, yeah, it's incredible. I mean, I think that's one of the things you love most about a superstar who goes out there, plays for his team every day. And Pete Alonso, he wears his emotions on his sleeves too. Like, it's a guy who wants to win. And as a fan, like, that's all you can ask, is that that your guys care about winning for your team.
Yes or no? Do you think that he's in Queens next year?
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
I think somebody's going to offer. I mean, that 1-year deal he took from the Mets this offseason was already a lot of drama behind that. And with the year he's having, Pete Alonso is going to get paid. And the Mets are a team who obviously has the money to pay him, but I see Pete going elsewhere, I think.
Gosh, I wonder. I just wonder what the difference would be between last offseason, where he was obviously a year younger and had been remarkably consistent. He was coming off probably his most poor season. Here he's had a nice rebound year. I mean, it still wasn't a bad season. I think he hit 34 homers still a season ago. But for him, it was, I believe, his worst season. Gosh. I think the Mets are probably going to draw a line in the sand and say, we will have you for this number. And I think that somebody, because this sport is in such dire need of right-handed power hitting, that somebody is going to finally give him a number that he wants. So I think he goes too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let us know, Mets fans. Do you want him back? Is there a certain number? Do you want him unquestionably returned no matter what it costs the organization? A lot of stuff to get to there. All right. We got a tie in the National League West. Who would have thunk it several weeks ago? Padres win again up in San Francisco. In the meantime, we got an unreal game in the Freeway Series. It sends the Dodgers onto the losing ramp.
And a high chopper, it's over Muncy, it's into left field. Say goodnight to the Dodgers. The Angels have their number. And tonight, the number was 7-6 on a walk-off from Joe Adell.
Yeah, the Angels just continue to own the Freeway Series here in 2025, and the Dodgers have taken that walk way too many times. They have had a terribly losing month over the last 30-plus days. Even though the bullpen did very well until Vesia in the 9th allowed the game tire, and then the Angels scored in the 10th, they actually had a good night. But how worried should the Dodgers be about their pen in particular?
It's tough. I'm not too worried about the Dodgers pen, especially come October. I mean, this is a team we know is going to be in the playoffs. The division race is very interesting now, thanks to the San Diego Padres getting hot, but they're missing a couple of guys like Kirby Yates, Tanner Scott. Those are guys you expect to come back at some point and really help this bullpen. And also, I know their starting pitching is even taking hits on the injured list, but like those are guys too. When they come back, you can move to the bullpen come October. The Dodgers are the Dodgers. Dave Roberts is going to figure out how to move those pieces and manage those pieces. And I mean, you can't worry if you're a Dodgers fan, you just have so many different guys who can help you. You have to expect those guys to start helping you again at some point.
Yeah, I mean, Emmett Sheehan did not pitch well in a starting role. I think he is going to be critical for them. I think he's going to be a real piggyback guy when they do get to the playoffs eventually. So they just put Brock Stewart, one of their new acquisitions that they got, a bullpen piece from the Minnesota Twins. He's got a little bit of a shoulder issue. The team thinks that they caught it early enough where it's not going to be a huge problem, but shoulders, of course, can get tricky. Michael Kopech, eligible to return off the 60-day in about 2 weeks. Kirby Yates, he's going to throw live batting practice today, we believe. Tanner Scott will throw one on Thursday. Brusdar Graterol coming from off-season surgery. We haven't seen him. They expect to get him in September. That's a lot of veterans that you are trying to count on to, A, produce, and maybe 1A, stay healthy for a stretch run. I don't know if you can. We know how great Kopech was when he came over in that trade from the White Sox a year ago. Tanner Scott, we saw what he did with the Padres when he got dealt there a year ago, but he has been, even when he's been on the mound this year, he's been a coin flip at best. I think that this is the most unsettled that the Dodgers are going to go into the playoffs, it feels like, in quite some time.
Yeah, you could very much be right about that. I just feel like for the Dodgers, like it's kind of the same story every year. It's like get through the regular season with the pitching and then somehow find a way to manage it in October. And I feel like Dave Roberts has done a good job at that. But yeah, no, I mean, you definitely want your best guys healthy and you definitely want to see them perform and have a little confidence going into the postseason.
I know that, we'll obviously do this on Friday's show, but you've got San Diego at LA this weekend. You've got LA at San Diego next weekend. These couple of weeks, it's not going to decide the division. I don't believe that. But, man, the atmosphere is going to be great. And I do believe that you are going to see a huge difference between the teams. I mean, unless this offense just gets clicking and the Dodgers build this. Heck, even if they build a huge lead against the Padres, I don't know how comfortable Dodger fans, I'm talking about a lead in a game, how comfortable Dodger fans can feel about when Dave Roberts walks out to the mound to make a pitching change.
Yeah, that's true. And also on the other end of that, like if you're a Padres fan, you have the 5 horsemen in your bullpen. So when the Padres have a lead, you feel pretty good. So I mean,
2 other cool things I want to talk about in last night's Freeway Series. Number 1, 2 on, nobody out for Shohei Ohtani, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, here it goes. Well, he always leaves us with something memorable, but this was courtesy of the Angels.
Lined up the middle. Neto's got it. Steps on second. Throw to first. It's a triple play.
Whoa! A pitcher's best friend.
I mean, incredible timing. Zach Neto continues to just rule the world out there in Anaheim. I was worried about Dalton rushing at first base. I thought he blew out a knee, dude.
Yeah, he hit first base in a bad way. But shout out to Zach Neto. I mean, Angels fans have to love this guy and the way he's been playing. That was actually pretty good base running by the runner at second. Like he just was a dead duck. He froze, had nowhere to go. Triple play, one of the most exciting plays in baseball. I like the 5-4-3 triple play. Nothing better than that. But Zach Neto still made it look pretty cool right there.
Have you ever been in person for a triple play?
I don't think so. Off the top of my mind, definitely not that I can remember. So no.
No, I have not. The unassisted triple play is the one that I would pay money to see. Yeah. I know we've had a couple of those over the last several decades, I believe. But that was awesome. It was a great call, really fun. Dodger fans go down and represent when the game's in Anaheim. Place was packed. Angels have really enjoyed the series so far. Good stuff. We thought maybe the Dodgers would walk away with a victory because Shohei hit a laser beam. Did you see this? Dude, that is some buggy whipping right there.
Yeah, Shohei doing what Shohei does. Can't even be surprised at this point. Going to be a fun race coming down between him and Schwarber. It's not necessarily for MVP. I still think Shohei's got that one wrapped up. But to see who leads the league in home runs.
Yeah, I think that was the first run that Kenley had allowed in something like 6 or 7 weeks. He had been doing great, and Shohei goes and gets him, and then the Angels tie it. They probably should have walked it off on a 4-pitch walk to Taylor Ward. I think he was the one that was up. Kasparius came in. He couldn't find the strike zone, and they got a generous call, and he eventually ended up getting out of the inning. So that was an amazing game, and it's going to get an even better because Shohei will pitch against the Angels on Wednesday for the very first time. My guess is we might mention that on Thursday's show. All right. It is time right now for Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Mountain Dew, where we take a look at teams who are climbing up or sliding down the mountain on the trek to the playoffs. And climbing up, nobody's climbing better in the American League than the Seattle Mariners, who ripped off their 8th straight win. They take care of the opener in Baltimore. In the meantime, the Astros, they lose at home. They get blown out by the Boston Red Sox. It means for the first time since early June, they do not hold sole possession of first place in the American League West. That was only part of the bad news for the Astros. What's worse They're going to be without their all-star closer, Josh Hader. He got placed on the injured list with a bad shoulder.
Punch in the gut, right? But hopefully he's seeing doctors right now. We're getting more tests done, and hopefully this is not going to be a long-term thing.
So you kind of have no idea of the severity yet. It's just
correct, not right now.
That, of course, the Astros skipper Joe Espada. And as of the taping of this show, there is no further update yet on Josh Hader. Let's say that he is out for an extended period of time. Forget about the division. Are you worried that the Astros might not make the postseason?
To be honest, yeah. I feel like the Astros are weird to me because every year I watch the Astros, I'm like, okay, they're going to find a way to get it done because they're the Houston Astros and they always get it done. But on paper right now, I don't necessarily love their team. I think there's a lot of holes. I mean, the starting pitching, there's some holes after, Hunter Brown's been great. Valdez is Valdez, but there's holes there. Josh Hader's really that one piece in the bullpen you can really trust. I know Brian Abreu's been great. But not only that, there's other teams in the AL who are getting hot at the right time. I mean, you mentioned the Seattle Mariners. I just think on paper, the Mariners are a better team than the Astros. Starting rotation has always been good. Bullpen's been good. And then I think what they did at the deadline, I love that they had holes and they just addressed the holes. They got a third baseman. They got Suarez. They had a hole at first base. You get Josh Naylor. So if Josh Hader's out for a while, man, he's a huge piece on that team.
So right now, the Astros are the top wild card in the American League. They have a 1.5 lead over Boston, 3-game lead over the Yankees, and then 4 back of the Astros sit the Cleveland Guardians, who are the team that's in the on-deck circle right now as far as the wild card standings. One of the things with all of the injuries that the Astros have dealt with this year, and I believe that he is currently the 7th pitcher that is on the injured list, is that you have been able to always turn the ball over to Abreu in the 8th and Hader in the 9th. They are 21-12 in one-run games, which is very good. They are 56-1 when leading after 8 innings. 56-1. Okay, that's certifiably insane in a good way. Abreu, 9 career saves. Can he do it if he has to for a couple of weeks? Yeah, absolutely. He is a super talented guy who's having his best strikeout rate this season, 13.2 per 9. Guy can get it done. But we talk about this all the time. The minute you take that closer out, and it's not necessarily Abreu you've got to worry about, it might be the guy who's 1 or 2 steps ahead of that, who instead of pitching in the 6th inning of a 3-run game, now all of a sudden he's trying to get critical outs in the 7th or 8th inning. And that's where things can get a little bit dicey for Joe Espada. They are still a great team. I still wouldn't bet against them to make the playoffs. I do think they'll hang on to a wild card spot. I, too, picked the Seattle Mariners earlier this week. I thought they had the edge down the stretch. But this one is going to be rickety, I think, for Houston fans.
Oh, 100% agree. I mean, Joe Espada, he'll find a way to get it done. I do agree that they have the big lead, so I think they should be fine. But I'm even like the Guardians just being, 4 games back, you said, of Houston?
Yeah.
Like, I still kind of believe in your guards, Rose. So even them could jump over Houston.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is possible. Let's take a look here. So Houston's got, I mean, they're upcoming. Let's just say Hader only misses a couple of weeks. They've got a couple series after they finish up with Boston on Wednesday, couple series with the Orioles, one with the Tigers. Then they get Colorado and the Angels. Like that's all very, very doable. The next month after that, when you get to September, it gets interesting, but not totally ridiculous. I mean, really, they've got a series with Atlanta. They've got another one with the Athletics. They finished the year with the Angels. There's only a couple teams they're going to be playing, over the final 6 weeks of the season that are actually in playoff contention. Yankees, Rangers twice, and Seattle. Everybody else kind of looking ahead to next year. So we have a rule about you don't discuss schedules, but we do discuss schedules on this show. So there you go. There you go, Houston fans. You can figure it out. I'd love to hear if you're worried or not. We're just talking about making the playoffs, not even necessarily winning the AL West, but just hanging on enough. We'll see. All right, the Toronto Blue Jays, they take the series opener between a pair of playoff hopefuls. Cubs offense really continues to struggle, especially with runners in scoring position. And even when Chicago thought that it had a hit at some point during the game, No.
From Bayamon, Puerto Rico. First ball swinging. Here's Bichette. Long throw. And it is in time. Wow. What a play on both ends. Bichette with a gem at short.
Okay. Bo Bichette, didn't know that you still had that in your game. And Vladimir Guerrero, we will see him do that with the splits like a couple times a year. And you forget, you just think Vladdy's this big hulking dude. That dude is an athlete over there.
He's got a gold glove. Vlad's won a gold glove in his career. He's very good over there at first base.
Yeah. Now, if I did those splits, you would have to get a spatula to shovel me off of the turf. I think it would be frickin' over.
The people need to see that, though. The people would love to see that.
No, I don't. Pass. It's interesting. Whenever I call a, blitz ball or something like that, people are like, hey, we want Rose and Moylan out of the booth, and we want them to form their own team. I'm going to tell you right now, not happening, and you don't want to see it.
If you say so. Agree to disagree, I guess.
Last time I played competitively, baseball was 8th grade when I hit 314. And then primetime league softball when I was hosting the Best Damn Sports Show period. That's a show that's a little too old for you, young man. But I led the league in homers. Can't believe it.
See?
It was like the one year that everything came together for me.
Just a little juice in there. A little juice.
Very strange. Let's get back to the Blue Jays and the Cubs. Blue Jays have been rolling for months. They still have, I believe, a 4-game lead in the American League East. Cubs were blistering out of the gate, but Milwaukee, who, by the way, won their 11th straight game on Tuesday night, now a 7.5-game lead over the Cubs in the National League Central. Which team between Toronto and Chicago is facing more pressure to deliver a championship this year?
Yeah, this one's going to be a no-brainer for me, I think. I think it's got to be the Cubs, right? I mean, you look at the Blue Jays, they're playing great, but if you would have said at the beginning of the season the Blue Jays would be in this spot, I feel like a lot of people would probably be shaking their heads. Like, you think about the AL East, you got the Yankees, you got the Red Sox. Even at the time, people were high on the Baltimore Orioles, while in the NL Central, the Brewers have been great for a while, but the Cubs went out there, they made the big move, they got Kyle Tucker, he's a rental, this could be his only year as a Cub. This is a team that had super high expectations. And I'm upset with what the Cubs did at the trade deadline, man. I mean, they went out there and got some starting pitching. They didn't do that. I felt like they should have pushed their chips all in, and they kind of didn't. So I think the pressure is on the Cubs, though, especially with Kyle Tucker on that last.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easier to look at it that way because of the trade they did make for Kyle Tucker and the fact they gave up not only Paredes, but Cam Smith, who is now – he made it to the major leagues less than a year after they drafted him. So that's something that they're going to be watching is a development of him down in Houston as he learned a new position and has been basically their everyday outfielder for them. So it feels that way. I would push back a little bit. The Toronto Blue Jays have not won a playoff game since 2016, I believe. We're talking about almost a decade. They haven't won it all since they went back-to-back in 92 and then 93. The walk-off Joe Carter home run off of Mitch Williams. This is a fan base where you think, well, because they're Canadian, they're so damn nice and patient and everything. They have been pissed off at the front office. Mark Shapiro, who now enters his final year as the president of baseball operations on his contract. They have been pissed off at the GM, Ross Atkins. They have been upset with a ton of these moves because they have paid some money, right? They've given 9 figures to George Springer, and until this year, that contract looked like an albatross. Kevin Gossman, 9 figures. He's been really good at some time, hasn't been good at other times. They were worried that Vladdy was going to walk. They end up extending him earlier this spring for $500 million. I do think, though, that there's more pressure on the Blue Jays than we think, just because we're like, oh, they're going to go worst to first, maybe. That's a cute little story. This is a team that massively under-delivered in 2023 and 4.
I agree. I actually think both in 2023 and 2024, I picked the Blue Jays to win the whole thing. So this year I kind of pushed back on them a little bit. But, I mean, it's a team that I'm still super high on. The last time I was on this show, Plouffe actually asked me which team in the AL as a Tigers fan I fear the most, and I said the Blue Jays, and that was kind of before they really took over the AL East. So I'm still high on this team. I think Blue Jays fans should be too. But the Cubbies, man, the Cubbies got to be better.
Yeah, they have been awful. I talked about their struggles with runners in scoring position. $1.63 in their last 7 games, which is a real kick in the you know what. Yeah, I mean, you could see the frustration. Kyle Tucker has been really struggling. Earlier this week, we talked about Pete Crow Armstrong, and they actually pinch hit for him the other night. I think it was on Sunday Night Baseball, maybe, how that happened. And I mean, that's a guy who started the All-Star game for the National League and was in, and maybe still be a little bit on the periphery of the National League MVP discussion, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be anywhere close, particularly with what Shohei has done throughout all of this year. I do think, though, that Toronto is super interesting. I'm like you, Jimmy Norp. I can't believe you and I both picked Toronto to represent the AL in the World Series the previous 2 years. Is that what you did?
I'm pretty sure. I'd have to go back and double check, but I'm pretty sure the last 2 years I was riding and dying with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, me too. And they have been great. They've been unbelievable the last 10 to 12 weeks of this season. There has been no slowdown. I will say this. I don't think they did enough to help their bullpen. And Jeff Hoffman has become a white knuckler for fans. People are hanging on for dear life when he is out there right now. They had to pull him against the Dodgers the other day in the late going. He had thrown over 30 pitches, so I got that one. But he just hasn't been. I know May was a tough month for him, and then he had a couple of good months, and it has just been a little bit all over the place lately. So good luck with that in October. But I do think he'll get a playoff victory for the first time in 9 years, so that could be good. All right. Today's episode, Baseball Today, it's brought to you by Brunt Workwear. Shoes and boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability. If they felt good, they didn't last. If they lasted, they wrecked your feet. Now, Brunt Workwear finally ended the trade-off. Design boots that withstand the toughest job sites while feeling as comfortable as your favorite sneakers. These might be the most comfortable work boots on the planet, even right out of the box. Not only incredibly comfortable, but they also deliver real performance on the job. Brunt was tired of the workwear brands out there cutting corners. You work too hard to be stuck in uncomfortable boots that do not hold up, so they built something better. Boots that are insanely comfortable and built for any job site. And for a limited time, our listeners get $10 off of Brunt when you use the code today at checkout. Just heard, you head on over to bruntworkwear.com. Use the code today. You're good to go. After you order, they're going to ask where you heard about Brunt. Do us a favor. Tell them it was from Baseball Today. You'll feel comfortable. We'll feel great as well. I'm actually going barefoot right now.
Nice.
If I needed to wear work boots, Brunt would be the one. Are you a work boot guy?
Not really, but I could be, You could switch it up. I could start.
I like it. What size shoe are you, like a 15?
Yes. Yeah, for the people home, size 15 shoe. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go with it. Go with it, buddy. All right, I've been dying to ask a Tigers fan this all year, and since you are filling in for Trevor Plouffe today, Jimmy Norp, you are the perfect person to do this with. I was watching the White Sox and Tigers last night, and the Tigers started to come back late in the game, and Jahmai Jones is up. And I'm watching with my oldest son, Josh, and he goes, man, this is Kerry Carpenter's spot in the lineup. And I was like, well, what happened? And he only hit once. I said, they didn't pull him after one at bat, did they? And he goes, yep. And Kerry Carpenter, the number of times that A.J. Hinch pulls him because a lefty comes into the game early. I'm not talking about like 8th inning at bat, tough lefty out of the pen. I'm talking about like one at bat and gone. Does it drive you nuts the way that A.J. Hinch uses or doesn't use Kerry Carpenter?
It's a tough question, Rose, because A.J. Hinch has been so awesome, and I normally trust everything he does. I don't really try to second-guess A.J. Hinch. But me and you both know, we saw it in the playoffs last year. Kerry Carpenter is one of those guys in the game who can change the game with one swing of the bat. And you can't pull him early in the game because you need him late in the game. No disrespect to Jahmai Jones, but he's not one of those guys who's going to change the game with one swing of the bat. Kerry Carpenter is. Also something like that bothers me. I just feel like Kerry Carpenter never really got a shot to prove himself against lefties. Sample size isn't that big. And in the minor leagues, before getting called up to the Tigers a couple of years ago, he actually hit lefties better than he hit righties, which is something a lot of people don't know. So Kerry Carpenter, he's just too big of a bat. Like, we have Riley Green, we have Spencer Torkelson, right? Those are guys, power guys. But Kerry Carpenter is really the one guy who I think really makes a difference in this lineup. When he's in the lineup too, it makes everybody else so much better.
So let me ask you this. Let's say that, and I'm just going to pick the Yankees here because they've got some prominent lefties in their rotation, and then they've got Tim Hill out of the bullpen as a lefty. If the Tigers face the Yankees in the playoffs, Kerry Carpenter's not starting game 1. He's not starting game 2. And in game 3, when the Yankees start a right-hander, if Tim Hill comes in the 4th inning, you're going to pull, let's just say it's a 3-game set. You're going to pull your second most dangerous stick, and at times even more dangerous than Riley Green. Why wouldn't you get him critical at bats against left-handers now to get him ready for the postseason?
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. I think 100%. I couldn't imagine being a Tigers fan and we lose a 3-game series to the Yankees where Kerry Carpenter gets 1 at-bat in the series, maybe 2. Like, you just can't have that. You got to ride and die with your best players, and Kerry Carpenter is one of the most talented hitters you have on this team. He should be in the lineup most days, if not every day.
Yeah. I mean, you want to sit him against a tough lefty occasionally during the year. I'm with you, but the White Sox don't throw anybody out there that would make you go, oh my God, we got a pinch hit for Kerry Carpenter. It just doesn't make sense. I understand the OPS difference between when he's facing right-handers and left-handers is like 230 points. And he murders right-handed pitching, which is exactly why you want to keep him in the game. I just don't get it. I mean, it's fine with me as a Guardians fan. Like, great. Every time I see him get pinch hit for it, I'm like, awesome. Get him off that field now. Have him take a shower. Go take an Uber home. He doesn't even have to wait for his team on the bus. Just, I'll see you later. But I don't get it. I just do not understand how steadfast they are with this. I don't get it. All right. Before we get out of here, we got 2 crazy things that happened last night visually in the sport of baseball. We'll start in the minor leagues. This is White Sox prospect George Walco. He wanted time, didn't get it, swung the bat one-handed. Actually, he was safe at first, and it scored a run. I mean, I've sat and watched this thing like 15 times, and I still cannot believe that he barreled it up to some degree with one hand, swinging it like it was like a tennis racket warm-up.
No, yeah. I saw this on my Instagram feeds last night, and I had to do a double take and make sure it was real and not fake. That's one of the craziest and most bizarre things I've ever seen in baseball, and I don't think that's an overstatement. I mean, the guy calls time and somehow puts the ball in play, beats it out, gets himself an RBI knock. Incredible.
All right. I love that. I was amazed by it. This one I have watched 30 times just because I could not stop laughing. Diamondbacks and Rangers in Arlington. That's Robert Garcia on the mound, gets a mitt on it, kicks it, tries to flip it behind his back and sends it like 30 rows up into the stands. Do we give him credit for trying the behind the back?
Oh, absolutely. Every time you have a chance to be the number 1 play on SportsCenter, you got to take a shot, right? I mean, he took a shot. It didn't work out for him clearly, but he took a shot, and I respect that. Maybe next time.
I mean, it is great. It is great. I know that Ranger fans have been all over that dude whenever he comes into the game, but that one's going to leave a mark, and it's pretty damn good. I loved it. Loved it. Jimmy Norp, I know you're busy. I know you got stuff to do. I'm going to send you on your way. I am truly appreciative of your baseball acumen. Pretty sharp for a dude who's from Michigan.
What do you mean by that, Rosie? Come on now.
It's just a couple Midwesterners vying for an American League Central. By the way, are you worried about my guards or not?
To be honest, yeah, always. Guardians, you guys have had our number for years, so I'm always worried about the Guardians.
You know, we don't play until 2 series like the last 2 weeks of the season, something like that. So we'll see if it's like 3 games then. But you have that dude Scooble who's just, we can't touch him. Yeah, except Lane Thomas in a hanging changeup.
Oh, the Lane.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, buddy. It was good seeing you. I'll get to see you in a few weeks at Blitzball Battle 7, which is always a blast. And the Warehouse Cup will be up for grabs. So good to see you. Good to have you around. Appreciate your time, dude. Thank you.
Rosie. Thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast.
You got it. You got it. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Jimmy Norp. Trevor Plouffe will return on Thursday's show. We will see you here on Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew.